All right, we are live. Looks like we have 17 minutes left. If you're joining us, looks like we have two on right now. We'll wait just a few moments for people to get on. This is one of the most beautiful dials, especially with an IWC. Can't wait to show you guys up close. Let's get a few more people on here. Looks like we have three. Can everyone hear me okay? Four or five people. Looks like you guys can hear me okay. I think we are good. Beautiful dial on this. So we're 16 minutes left, and I want to start obviously with this dial because the green done right is hard to find, and IWC did a beautiful job. This is the IWC Portugieser automatic 40 millimeter. This is reference IW358310, green sunburst dial, stainless steel case, green alligator strap. This is mint, pre-owned, box and papers, full set. Looks like we're starting the stream at $5,000. The retail on this is almost $8,000. And if you were to buy this pre-owned anywhere else, it looks like the cheapest in the country is about $6,000 before taxes and shipping and all that. But this is no reserve. 15 minutes left, so let's get into it. IWC, which stands for International Watch Company, in case you didn't know, out of Switzerland. It was founded in 1868 by an American engineer named Florentine Jones, who actually came to Switzerland specifically to combine American manufacturing precision with Swiss watchmaking tradition. That's a unique founding story in this industry. Most Swiss houses don't start with an American engineer crossing the Atlantic just to build a great watch. So this is very cool. And the Portugieser line specifically has its own story. This collection debuted in 1939, and it was originally built for Portuguese merchants who needed marine chronometer level precision on the wrist instead of on a ship. That's why Portugiesers have always run a little large, especially for that time, and cleaner than typical dress watches of their era. They were instruments first, elegance second. And nearly 90 years later, that same design language, the railroad minute track, the elongated numerals, the leaf hands, is sitting right here. So very cool piece. Let me actually zoom in for you guys. Put this loop on since Grailsy doesn't let us zoom, but I have this, which will really let you see this crazy dial. Such a good color of green. There are quite a few green watches out there. Everybody likes green, but some of them don't do their dials justice, and this one is done perfectly. It really is so cool. For it not being that expensive, I get a lot of compliments with something like this. I've had this exact one before. I had one 2 years ago in my personal collection that I wore quite a bit. I did end up selling it after 6 months, but you know, us watch people, especially when you're in the business, you tend to change your mind quickly. But this could definitely be in someone's collection for long term. Once I do sell these, I don't really hear messages about wanting to trade them back. So people do like this for the long term generally. Besides the amazing dial, let's take a look at this case back. I want to show you real quick. Let me see if I can get this. Check out that case back. Very cool. Very beautiful. So much detail on it. And even though it's Swiss, it's very American too. I love that. Love how the rotor kind of reminds you of an airplane a bit. I don't think that's I don't think that's in their marketings per se necessarily, but I definitely see it. I hope it's on purpose. Very, very cool. So with this piece, let's talk more about it because the details here are genuinely well executed. Look at this dial again. Green sunburst finish, which means the surface has a radial brush texture that shifts character as the light moves across it. In some angles, it reads almost like, I would say, a forest green, but I would say if you're outside in direct light, I can't do that here, otherwise we're going to lose the stream, but in direct light, it brightens up considerably. It's not a flat printed color like a lot of other brands. There's real depth to this thing. 40.4 millimeters stainless steel case. Sorry, this is IWC's more compact take on the Portugieser concept. It's more wearable day to day than the larger 42 millimeter versions. It's clean. It's an open dial layout with the characteristic minute scale in small seconds at 6 o'clock. Nothing competing for attention, just clean horological design in my opinion. And again, I'll get a close-up on this. The strap. Genuine green alligator leather. That's not a detail brands throw on without intention. It's there because this watch is meant to be worn somewhere that matters, right? Again, the open exhibition case back. And if we wanna talk about it, inside this thing, you have IWC's own caliber. I believe it's called, what is it called? Caliber 82200, so 82,200. This is an in-house automatic movement. And here's the standout feature. It uses a Peloton winding system with components made of virtually non-wearing ceramic. So you can't really see it in here. You can if you get an even bigger loop on this thing. That's IWC's signature winding mechanism, and the ceramic components mean this system holds up over decades of use without the wear you'd get from a standard metal winding mechanism. This gives you a 60-hour power reserve here. So that's 2.5 days. Take it off Friday night, and after work, it's still running Monday morning if you don't wear it, which is nice. So very cool. Looks like we are at $5,100 with 9 minutes to go. We're definitely on the wire here. I'll take this loop off for a bit. Let's see if we can if you can see this. Box and papers, of course. Let's talk about the condition because, got to be upfront with you. This is mint pre-owned. It's not factory sealed brand new, but it is genuinely mint, right? Look closely at the case angles, the dial, this strap. There's nothing here that tells you this watch had a hard life. It was very well cared for. It wasn't like a daily that was beat up on. So what that means for you is simple. You're getting essentially a almost like new IWC Portugieser without paying $8,000. Full set, comes with the box and papers, and that's a really nice deal. So someone here, even if this settles at $5,100, is getting a great steal. So let's get back to the number on this. Retail on this watch is, I believe, $7,800. So after taxes, you're paying over $8,000. If you want to buy pre-owned on the gray market without an auction like this, you're looking at it starting at $6,000, and I believe the cheapest one that is $6,000 plus the taxes. I looked at the pictures. The strap is definitely a little beat up. It had a much harder life than this one. which is surprising because most people would take care of a watch like this. They wouldn't really, do construction or something like that with it. So remember, this auction is no reserve. So wherever the bidding lands when this clock hits zero, that's the price this watch goes home with. There's no floor protecting where we're at. So $5,100. Someone said, "Can you show the backside of the watch?" Of course. Showed it a little bit ago, but let's put a zoom on this just so you can see again. And in fact, I will take this out. One second, guys, so you can really see it. Check out that case back. Very beautiful. Completely in-house movement. This isn't a brand that, kind of sources out parts from other manufacturers. This is an in-house Swiss movement, and it shows. There aren't a lot of movements that look like this. This looks serious. I really love the rotor on this. It reminds me of an airplane. I think that's on purpose, but not for sure. It looks really cool. 60-hour power reserve on this thing. And again, this is the in-house caliber 82200. It's IWC's in-house movement. You have the Peloton winding system with ceramic components, which is a real engineering differentiator, not just a marketing term. It makes this watch last long time without needing service. And as we're getting into the last 5 minutes, I also want to mention here, because I think it actually matters more than people realize when you guys are bidding on whether it be my watch or, buying from anyone in general, because it is important. When you buy a watch from me, you obviously get the 6-month warranty through this platform that comes from me. That's standard, that's covered. But here's the part that matters long term. When you buy a watch from me, you become a client for life, not just for tonight's purchase, but for every watch you already have owned before me. What does that actually mean? Well, 5-10 years from now, you've got a completely different watch. Doesn't even have to be, one you bought from me. And maybe it needs servicing. A normal service center is going to charge you full retail service pricing. On some pieces, that can be, $1,500 for a routine service. And just think about that for a second. You pay $1,500 for a service for a watch you maybe bought for $4 or $5 grand. The math doesn't really make sense, and people don't love that, right? But when you're my client, my watchmakers service that piece at cost, and that goes for anything you have, right? Not at a discount, but at my cost, because the relationship doesn't end when this auction ends tonight. So I want you guys buying your next piece from me and the next one after that. And the way I earn that is by actually taking care of you guys long term after the bidding's over. So that's not on the listing, that's not in the fine print anywhere in this, but that's just how I run my business, right? So just wanted to point that out for some of you that don't know. My name's Brad. I run Wrist Game Miami here, out of Miami. And we are in the last 2.5 minutes, it looks like. It looks like we could settle in the low fives, which that's fine. Somebody's getting a great deal. 2.5 minutes left. We're at 5,100 on a watch that Retails at MSRP for 7,800 with an in-house Peloton movement and a 60-hour power reserve. Comps online for other gray market pieces that are this reference start at 6,000, but that one that's 6,000 is a little beat up. So this gap is very real and it's closing fast. We're down to less than 2 minutes. So that's good. Yeah, somebody's about to walk home with a great deal. Again, nobody does, I won't say nobody, there are other companies that do this right, but I would argue for 5 grand, you are not getting a green sunburst dial that's done so well like this IWC. It's done very well. It's very beautiful. Depending on the light, I would say inside in certain light, it's like a forest green. Outside, it's a little bit brighter than that. And we are down to our final minute. So if you were going to bid, now's the time. If anyone bids right now, the clock will go back up to 1 minute. And like I said, you're getting 60-hour power reserve. You're getting a completely in-house movement. You're becoming a client of mine for life. Can service any of your watches at cost. And down to the last 20 seconds. Box and papers. Very good deal on this. And awesome, 5 seconds to go. Looks like somebody is taking this home for $5,100. Awesome. Congrats. Just sold this for $5,100. And I believe we have a different IWC coming up in 20 minutes. It's a Pilot watch. It's very cheap right now, so somebody can get a steal on that as well. It's a black Pilot watch. Congrats to who just took this home. This is a very beautiful, probably the most beautiful green piece you can get for under 10K. So we'll be in touch. I'll be shipping this out to you tomorrow, and I know you're gonna enjoy this because it's a really cool piece. Brad from Risk Game Miami here. If you're interested in another IWC, I will see you on the next stream in about 20 minutes.